This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball XL Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the Game of the Week, and we are in the American League Championship Series, or whatever you call that thing, in the Fall League. I guess I'm using the same names that I do in the traditional Summer League. Best of 7 series, the last 2 teams in the American League. Let's just call it the League Championship Series for the fall. And it is the Baltimore Orioles and the California Angels. Let's take an overall look at the standings. Gives you an idea of how the teams have been playing this year. American League. The Angels became the number 2 seed in the American League and have got the bye. They defeated the Mariners. So they've not really been tested. Plus they've got this gaudy record by beating up on the Rangers and A's, and they play the Mariners again in the playoffs. I have no idea how good this Angel team is. Baltimore is your number 6 seed in the American League. They actually are now better than the division-winning Red Sox and, of course, the Yankees and Blue Jays. Certainly battle-tested. Every tussle they've been in, including a 1-game playoff against the Brewers to get the wild card. And then the divisional round, they knocked off the Ohio players. So the Orioles have been through this before many, many, many times. Let's take a look at the pitching matchups for the League Championship Series. The Angels are going with Frank Tanana. He's had a better year than Nolan Ryan. Then they're going to put Ryan in Game 3 in Baltimore. So it's Tanana at home, Baumgarten at home. The premise being the Orioles don't hit lefties well. We'll have to see about that. Then when it goes to Baltimore, Ryan and then Paul Hartzell, a day off. Frank Tanana again on 4 days rest in Baltimore. And then back in California, Nolan Ryan, and then your Game 7 is always a wild card. The whole pitching staff pitches. Ross Baumgarten will start. The Orioles, on the other hand, have had an interesting postseason. This is what a great pitching staff can do. They can massage the pitching staff. Let's go all the way back to the end of the season to get into the playoffs. The Orioles had to play the Blue Jays, and they won that game. Jim Palmer beat Dave Steve. That gave them the wild card spot. Then right here, they had a 1-game wild card game against the Milwaukee Brewers, who crush lefties. So when normally Flanagan or McGregor would go here, they went with Dennis Martinez on short rest. He won that game. Then they play the Ohio players, who aren't very good against lefties, and they switch up to back-to-back lefties. McGregor, Flanagan, Palmer, and then Martinez and McGregor, who wins Game 5. And now against the Angels, they're just going to go alternate righty-lefty, righty-lefty, righty-lefty against the Angels, figuring they'll have to flip the lineup and won't be consistent, having to juggle the lineup around. By the way, the California Angels have only 3 of their 12 hitters bat left-handed. And McGregor is actually better against righties and lefties, so he should be pivotal. So let's see what has happened. It's been a fun series thus far. Let's get to the jump-off point. Game 1, Jim Palmer versus Tanana, and Tanana did not disappoint, folks. 4-0 shutout. The damage was pretty quick and painless in the 5th. 3-run homer for Dan Ford, who's had a red-hot year, leading the club in RBI for the Angels, batting 8th all year. They tack on a run in the 6th. 4-0. The listless Oriole offense, one of the more bizarre stories, is that the Orioles are up and down all year long with this offense, hitting about .239. One of the worst hitting teams in the league, even though the Cards are better than that. So what happened in Game 2? Well, the Orioles score 7 runs off of Baumgarten, even though Baumgarten pitched okay. 5 1/3 innings, he had given up a homer to Singleton. He broke in the 6th inning. So when the pitcher breaks, I take him out, go to the bullpen. We went to Dyer, Miller. It's a pretty weak bullpen for the Angels. Todd, Miller, Ralston, and Clear. Dyer Miller blows up in the 7th inning. RBI single, 3-run homer by Lee May, who doesn't hit righties very well, but he hit righties very well there. 7-4 game. Orioles get the split in Anaheim. So that means we go to Baltimore with the series tied for a game 3. And it means that Nolan Ryan will have to pick the Angels up on the road. Nolan Ryan, Dennis Martinez. We love Dennis Martinez in this situation because he's not that great against lefties, but like I said, Angels only got 3 of them. One is Vic Davalillo, one's Thad Bosley, and one's Don Kessinger. The combined at-bats for these guys might be 200 at-bats for a whole 162-game season. 3 extra players, that's it. So Martinez pitches very good, but in the 6th inning, a bunch of cheap singles, blue pits, singles off the defense. They bat around. They get an error on the catcher to score a run. How many times do you get an error on the catcher to score a run? It never happens. But the Angels get 4 gifted runs here. The Orioles get an error on Bobby Grich, who's having a really lousy series fielding for whatever reason. He's a good second baseman, but he's having his struggles. Back-to-back doubles makes it 4-3. They load the bases, and they cannot score off of Ryan in there, or the 7th, or the 8th, or the 9th. Ryan hangs on, throws about 162 pitches. Nolan Ryan beats Dennis Martinez, and it's a back-and-forth series. Angels, Orioles, the Angels. So what happens in game number 4? Let's go check out game 4. And we have the last pitchers remaining. Paul Hartzell for California, and Scott McGregor for the Orioles. This is a pretty well-played game for a while. The Orioles get an RBI single in a second. And then the Angels, once again, just like in Game 1 when Danforth had a big 3-run homer, here it's Bobby Grich with a big 3-run homer, makes it 3-1. A solo homer for Joe Rudy in the 7th makes it 4-1. And now the Angels are thinking, hey, we're about to go up 3-1 in Baltimore. This is big news. But unfortunately, Hartzell's a starter 7, and they have to go to their bullpen again. And it's Lance Ralston in the 8th gives up a run. But with a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 9th, Mark Clear has had a great year as a closer. Oh boy, you know what's going to happen here, folks. A leadoff walk, a triple by Mark Belanger of all people, but it was off of Mark Clear's card. Then a double, you guessed it, off of Mark Clear's card. A walk, a K, a walk, and then finally a walk-off single by Carlos Lopez. They get 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th, come back from a 4-2 deficit to even the series, 2 games apiece. Very strange series, but you got the perfect scenario. A home and road win for both teams. Also back and forth. California, Baltimore. California, Baltimore. Can the Orioles break the string and go up in the series in a Game 5? Let's go check out what happens. Game 5. It is Tanana and Palmer again. But this time, Palmer gives up a 2-run homer to Bobby Grich in the 1st inning. And then he settles in, and that's all the Angels would get. Meanwhile, Frank Tanana, the only reliable pitcher on this Angel team, as Ryan walks a billion guys, Tanana actually gets knocked around in these middle innings for the first time all year. The Orioles bat around here, and you get a 2-run homer by Paul Blair off his card, another solo homer by Paul Blair off his card. His homer is on the roll of 2-2 and 2-3, and he hit each one of them. Baltimore wins Game 5, 8-2, which brings us back to California for a Game 6 and a Game 7 if necessary. Your starting pitchers for the Orioles, Mike Flanagan, and for the Angels, it's Nolan Ryan. He had a complete game in Game 3, and when they got that road win in Baltimore, and now he's home, and he needs to do it again. So leading off for the Orioles is John Lowenstein. 66 off Ryan is a walk. Rich Dower probably will hit and run. Surely will hit and run. 2 hit and run, yeah. 8 is a moving up the runner hit and run. Runner at second for Ken Singleton. 62 short X. Kessinger's a 3E26. That's a ground ball C. Runner goes to third with 2 outs for Doug DeCinces. 58 is a strikeout, and the Orioles cannot score the runner. Bottom of the first, it's Carney Lansford, 39 off Flanagan, grounds a short. Joe Rudy, 6'10", third X. DeCinces a 2E13 at third base, makes the play. And Ron Jackson, 56 short X. Belanger's a 1E14. The Oriole bench, and pretty much the Angels, well, I guess the Angels actually do have platoons in place, but the Oriole bench, 2 of the guys, Jim Mason and Andy Etchebarren, are just for injury purposes. They have not played all in this series. Lee Mays only played against left-handers like Tanana and Baumgarten. And that's the difference between the 2 teams. The Orioles go with their starters, and the Angels use all 12. All right, top of 2, it's Eddie Murray. 68 is a walk. Now the catching, Cliff Johnson has a +2 arm. And the Orioles have a bunch of C Steelers on this team who were willing to try a stolen base against the +2 arm catcher. Do they do it now with Ed Murray and try and catch him off? I don't think so. Not this early. They'll let Lopez bat. 56 is a K. Paul Blair, 66, ball 4. That's why you don't hit and run. You hit and run, you get to second base, and that base at first is open up again. So 2 on, 1 out for Rick Dempsey. 410 short X. Again, Kessinger's a 3E26 at shortstop. It's a ground ball C. So you have second and third with 2 outs for Mark Belanger. 2-8. Let's take a look at Mark Belanger's card. He hit 213, rolls his column here. 2-8 is single 1 to 10, and he rolls a 3, and that's an RBI single for the Blade. They call him that. The very slight Mark Belanger. RBI single, scores the runner at third. We got runners in the corners with 2 outs for John Lowenstein. The pitch, 110 for Lowenstein, skies are right. And for a moment, the Orioles are 24 outs away from going to the World Series. Bottom of the second, Cliff Johnson. Let's take a look before he swings here. The dangerous Cliff Johnson, the most significant player against left-handed pitching that they add to their lineup. This Cliff card of 77 was for the Bronx Bombers. I can't say missing Cliff Johnson is the reason why the Yankees aren't in the League Championship Series, but it didn't help that he wasn't. Destroys lefties, and they're hoping he can destroy the Orioles here in Game 6. The pitch to Cliff Johnson. 1-5 will be a walk. Don Baylor. Gosh, Cliff Johnson, Don Baylor at 36 home runs. Cliff Johnson would have hit 40 home runs if that was a full season. And Grich at 30. So the Angels actually do have a really pretty good murderer's row here in the middle of their lineup. Don Baylor, 39, short B. Now, he's an ace stealer. He has not attempted many bases because Dempsey's got a -2 arm. The Orioles are passive, did not steal. I don't think the Angels are going to be that way, trying to even the series up. Baylor's going to steal against the odds here. Steal, he rolls an 18 and is thrown out by Dempsey. That's why you don't do it. So, Bobby Grich now, with 2 outs, will swing away. 59 off of Flanagan is a double to left field. Oh my. But the way I look at it too is, based on the random number generator, if he is safe stealing, they don't get this dice roll that gives them a double. So that's the way you have to look at it there. Bill Sample. 2-7 is a ground to third. All right. We go to the third inning. Rich Dower. 1-3. Rounds are short. Kenny Singleton. 1-8 is a base hit. Doug DeCinces. 111, short B, and with 2 outs, it's Eddie, eat, drink, Eddie Murray. 49 is a K. 1-zip Orioles, bottom of the 3rd. Disco Dan Ford, the best hitter of the year for the Angels, leading the club in RBI, batting 8th all year. 39 against a lefty is a walk. Here's Kessinger. Now, he is such a bad hitter. Let's go take a look at it. Give you some story here. Since I mentioned this once, but not sure why Don Kessinger is even here instead of being retired. This is his last year in baseball. In 1977, he was for the White Sox. He had 119 at-bats. He was on the retired list, and the Angels called him up and said, "We don't have a shortstop. We forgot to get one." They had nobody on the team who could play short, except for Carney Lansford as his backup position. Carney's a third baseman, but he could play 40-48 at short. So literally, Don Kessinger was the last shortstop out there, and he was pulled out of retirement, and he finds himself playing all year against lefties and righties as a switch hitter, and as a .326 at short, batting 9th the entire season, and he's a couple games away from going to the World Series. Don't tell the Chicago Cubs this. So Kessinger here, I think he's going to do a hit and run. He's a B hit and runner. He's going to hit and run here. Rolls a 6 and moves the runner up. That's a nice play, sort of. We got a runner in scoring position now with 1 out for Carney Lansford. 4-10 off Flanagan. Skies are right. And with 2 outs, it's Joe Rudi. 1-8. Let's take a look at the Joe Rudi card. 77 for the Angels. Part of the famous Oakland sell-off. I think Joe Rudi was traded to the Boston Red Sox for 5 minutes, and the commissioner stepped in and said, what are you guys doing? You can't just do that. So the Rudi to Boston was, and Vida Blue to the Yankees or something like that. Those trades were vetoed. But Rudi ended up on, oddly enough, in a worse situation for Oakland on a division rival. That's a pretty nice card for him. 1-8, double 1 to 13 is a double. And the game is tied at 2. Tied at 1, excuse me. Rudi on second with 2 outs. And it's Ron Jackson. 37 is a K. 1-1 game in the 4th. Carlos Lopez. 54, third X. Lansford's a .324. He makes the play. Just a quick tutorial here again. You notice it says 5.3E26. If it's in parentheses, it means it's an evaluation of the E rating, not the fielding rating. And because Lansford's an E24, an E26 defender makes the play. Lansford's 24 is better than that, so I don't waste time by rolling again. It quickens up the game. Call it double jeopardy home field advantage if you want. Paul Blair. 1-7 lines a third, and with 2 outs, Rick Dempsey. 43, first X. This is Ron Jackson. Is a 3E9, and a 3 makes the play. If the Angels win this game and force a Game 7, I'll broadcast Game 7 as well. In the League Championship Series and World Series, I'll broadcast all the elimination games. So you see it live. All right, 1-1, bottom of the 4th. And here is Cliff Johnson. 2-4, Skies of center. Don Baylor, 46, second X. This is Dower, a 2E8 at second base. Makes the play. Bobby Grich, 4-4 off Flanagan, center X. But Blair is a 1E13 in center field. Makes the catch. 1-1 in the 5th. Mark Belanger. 38 is a fly ball left. Lowenstein. 66. Ball 4. Another walk. Now, I have to say, because he just walked a batter, that Nolan Ryan has not suffered from the abundance of walks in the playoffs. But he has been demoted to the number 2 starter because of it, because of his regular season. It was particularly bad in the Summer League with his 73 card, where he gave up the same number of walks as innings pitched. It's a really disappointing aspect of his Strat-O-Matic card. And today, 1, 2, 3, 4 walks isn't really that bad, all things considered. But we have a long way to go here. So, with 1 out, last time Dower did a hit and run because there was nobody out. But with 1 out, Dower's going to hit away. The pitch to Rich Dower. 37. Let's take a look at the Dower card of 1980. Nice year for him. 284. Could play 2 positions very well in the infield. This is one of those Major League Baseball players who this is another era. 603 plate appearances. He struck out 19 times. 603 plate appearances. That just does not happen anymore in Major League Baseball, which is kind of sad. Anyway, this is a base hit in a right field. Lowenstein, who's in right today? Billy Sample has a +1 arm. Do you go coast to coast with 1 out? 1 to 16, I think you do. 1 to 16 for the advance, and he advances. So you have runners on the corners. For Ken Singleton, they are going to play it up in a tie game. Ken Singleton, 1-2 is a walk. That loads the bases for the Senseis now. Ryan's got some trouble, and this is where the walks normally have been killing this guy. They're going to play back, hoping for a DeCinces double play ball. The pitch to Doug DeCinces. 57 is a K. That's a walk versus a lefty, by the way. And here is a lefty. Eddie, eat, drink, and be Murray. Bases loaded. 2 outs in the 5th. The pitch to Ed Murray. 3-6. Let's take a look at Eddie Murray's card against righties. He's better against lefties, but good enough against righties here. 3-6, homer, 1-18, and look what he rolls. And it's not the first time in the series this has happened. So he missed this homer earlier, and I was assuming he would hit it this time, the 90% chance. He misses it twice. So he missed the homer 118 twice in the dice roll. So I guess the next 18 times he rolls this roll, he'll probably hit it. So that's a double. 2 runs will score, and you're inclined to send Singleton here if he can run on a 14. Unfortunately, he cannot. He's a 12 runner, +2 is 14, but Dan Ford has a -1 arm in center field, and I cannot advance a visiting runner unless it's 14 or better. That's one of the home field advantages. So it's a 2-run double. Murray can't believe it. Hit off the top of the wall. It's 3-1. And you have second and third with 2 outs. And it's Carlos Lopez is your batter. The pitch to Carlos. 2-9 is a grounder to short. So, folks, that's a 2-run swing there. A 3-1 game and a potential elimination game for the Orioles. Before we go to the bottom of the 5th, let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, bottom of the 5th. It'll be Bill Sample leading it off against Flanagan. 47's a K. Disco Dan Ford, 58. Double 1-5 is a base hit. He's been on twice. Like I said, he's been a big part of this team. Down 2, I'm not really thinking about hitting and running, particularly if Ford is not being held. He's a C-stealer, and you've got a -2 arm catcher. So Kessinger will hit, but he's had a nice series. He's got 5 hits. Kessinger at 235 and 100 at bats, like I showed you earlier. But he has 5 hits in the 5 games thus far. The pitch to Kessinger. 110, flies left. And with 2 outs, it's Carney Lansford. 53 off Flanagan as rolls the first C. We go to the 6th inning. 3-1. It'll be Paul Blair leading it off. 211 flies left. Rick Dempsey, 411. Left X. Rudy's a 1-2 in left field. He makes the catch. And Mark Belanger, 2-8. Rolled this earlier. Single 1-10. Got an RBI single out of it. Lines out this time. Bottom of the 6th for Mike Flanagan. Orioles have a great bullpen. Clay Carroll is an interesting card if it comes in. Gets all righties out, lefties kill him. But this is a 6, they only have 3 lefties on the team. So Carroll could be called into play. Stoddard's a righty, gets lefties out. Tippy's a lefty, gets righties out. Stanhouse walks a lot of guys. You normally don't bring him in the middle of an inning. But there are 12 outs to get with a 2-run lead. A lot of baseball left here. Joe Rudy leads off in the bottom of the 6th. 2-5 is a hit by the pitch. Flanagan's a starter 7. He'll pitch to Ron Jackson. 57's a K. And here we go, folks. The dangerous Cliff Johnson and Don Baylor, and Flanagan is going to pitch to these guys. You're thinking, why not hook them? Nope, they're going to go with Flanagan. The pitch to Cliff Johnson. 1-7, he misses it, but he gets a walk. Misses the 2-run homer there. 2 on, 1 out for Don Baylor, your 1979 American League Most Valuable Player. Flanagan's still in there. Starter 7. The Orioles have a lot of faith in this guy in a 3-1 game. The pitch to Mike Flanagan. 2-7, Don Baylor, a clean single to left. Now let's look at the Don Baylor card. If we would have brought a right-hander in, it's single 1-2 on the roll of a 7. But again, we're nitpicking here. And again, if you bring in a right-handed reliever, you don't get that dice roll because the random number generator would have been different by that point. So it's a clean single to the left. The speedy Joe Rudy is at second base, down 2 runs, a 12-runner. Lowenstein has a 0 arm, so he's going to hold up. And it's going to be Bobby Grich and Abe Bunner, who is actually better against righties than lefties. So they have to bring the infield up, and Flanagan is still going to pitch to him, mostly because he's better against righties. So the pitch to Bobby Grich. 2-9 with the infield up. Now that would have been, this is another home field advantage. That's a 6 ground ball short A, but for a road team in this situation, it's just the fielder's choice of the plate. Grich beats it out. I do give you a 6-2-3 double play if it was the road team. So that's a break for the Angels as Grich legs it out to first, bringing up Billy Sample with the bases loaded and 2 outs. First interesting moment here. All sorts of things to consider here. If you bring in a righty for Flanagan now to face Sample, you might as well pinch hit a lefty, Davalillo or Bosley, for Sample. Kind of a little bit in nowhere land here. And they will pitch to Bill Sample with the bases loaded, again, with 2 outs. The pitch to Billy Sample. 65 off of Flanagan is ground ball to second C. So Mike Flanagan, and the card of Flanagan's is his 77 card. He was a 15-game winner with a 3.64 ERA, and he wiggles out of the 6th inning. The Angels come up with nothing there. So it's a 3-1 game, and really, the Orioles could have had more there, and the Angels certainly could have had some breaks there. We go to the 7th. Nolan Ryan is a starter 9, not going anywhere. And it'll be John Lowenstein leading off. He has been on twice, walking both times. 66, and the same thing. You walk him 3 times in a row. Now what do we do with Dower? We did a hit and run. He moved the runner up. We swung away, got a single. Boy, Dower actually hits righties okay. Hits righties better than lefties. I've been burnt by the hit and run too much. I'm going to let Dower hit away here. 210 is the roll. Let's take a look at Rich Dower's card. Rich Dower, 210, decided to swing away off of Nolan Ryan. 210 is homer 1-7 double. Misses it, of course. Rolls a 13, gets the double. Now here's trouble potential. Lowenstein is a 15 runner, and Dan Ford is a -1 arm in center field, so he has to run in this situation. He's being waved in, even though you probably should hold him up at third with nobody out. But he's been waved in, and a 15 or higher gets the out, and here's the play at the plate, and it's a 9. So the aggressive Oriole gets the run, though I prefer to hold him up there with nobody out and go second and third. So that gives the home team an advantage if you throw him out at the plate. You got a runner at second, 1 out. But Lowenstein legged it out. Got the 70% chance. Okay, so it's a 4-1 game. Dower's at second for Ken Singleton. 3-11 is a fly ball to right. Doug DeCinces. 57 is a strikeout. And Eddie Murray. 46 is a strikeout. All right, so it's 4-1 now. Going to the bottom of the 7th inning. This is where you get Ford and Kessinger and Lansford and Rudy and Jackson. And I kind of think you use your... They're going to pull Flanagan after 6. He wormed his way out of that inning. We're not going to take any more chances. We're going to bring in Clay Carroll now, and it's because currently there's only one left-handed batter in the Angel lineup, and we're inviting them to bring some lefties in. When you look at this Clay Carroll card, you'll see why. Here's the Carroll card, one of the most bizarre cards you're going to find. And if you look at his splits for this season, statistically, it looks pretty ordinary. I do not know why Strat-O-Matic flipped it this way. So they're hitting like 340, 350, the lefties are, and the righties can't get on base. So it'll be Dan Ford, and then Don Kessinger is like free parking in Monopoly at that point. He'll bat and be very happy to bat. So here's Dan Ford leading off the 7th off Clay Carroll. 2 5s, a grounder to the 3rd. Now Kessinger, he really needs to get on here off the Carroll card. The pitch to Kessinger. 49, yep, that's a single. That's all right, because they're pretty sure that the Angels are not going to take Carney Lansford, Joe Rudy, Ron Jackson out of the game. So it's Carney Lansford. He has power. Can't hit a home run here, though, off the pitcher. And Kessinger is a 12 runner, nothing special there. So he will have to swing away here. Carney Lansford with a runner at first and 1 out. 39 for Lansford is third B. So he's on at first. And it's Joe Rudy. We saw the Rudy card earlier. You might as well just go for the homer chance on your own card on 1-5 or 1-6 to pull the game within 1. So the pitch to Joe Rudy. First is the pinch hitter, because the minute you announce a left-handed pinch hitter, Carroll's gone. So the pitch to Joe Rudy, 67 off of Carroll, is a pop to second base. Getting Clay Carroll seemed to be one of the strangest, odd plays in the draft for a team that really doesn't even need him, because they mostly use Tippy Martinez, Stanhouse, and Stoddard. But it's for positions like this, when you know the other team is committed to the right-handed batters that aren't going to go to a pinch hitter. So we'll go to the 8th, 4-1, and Ryan's still not going anywhere. It'll be Carlos Lopez. 110 is a single for the A's Steeler. Now, speaking of hitting and running, Paul Blair will do a hit and run here with the speedy Lopez at first. The hit and run is a 12, and that is bad news because he is a C hit and runner, not a B hit and runner, and that roll, I believe, is a Lomax. Yes, that is a Lomax. So he hits a line drive that's caught, and then they just toss it over to first base and double off Lopez. That's a tough break for the Orioles, but a big break for the Angels, who need breaks at this point as they're 6 outs away, and it's Rick Dempsey. 1-6 is a fly ball to left. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and now you've got this restless feeling that the Angels should be bringing lefty pinch hitters in against Carroll, but you don't take your starting first baseman Ron Jackson out. Cliff Johnson, I could see him leaving. Baylor's not going anywhere, and Grich isn't going anywhere. And with a 3-run lead, I think Carroll would pitch to a lefty pinch hitter. But here is Ron Jackson leading off the 8th. 1-7 is a single. That's a big base hit. And now you've got Cliff Johnson leaving the game for a pinch hitter. The Orioles are actually up 3-2 in this series too, with a 3-run lead in the game 6 here. So they know they got the pieces. They should be able to put 6 outs on the board. And frankly, I think you have to announce Vic Davalillo. So Vic Davalillo gets announced here. And I think, let's take a look at Vic Davalillo. And I think after he is announced, I just don't like the idea of him getting an easy single off of Carroll and bringing the tie run up to the plate. So they're going to pull Carroll after an inning and a batter. He did what he needed to do. And Tippy Martinez, a lefty, will still come in the 8th inning. And Davalillo will then be pinch hit for with another guy on the bench. So we started with the catcher, Cliff Johnson. We pinched hit for Davalillo. Then he is gone. And then they're going to flip it back to another right-handed batter, Jim Essien, against the lefty Tippy Martinez. And then the Angels will stick with Essien, Baylor, Grich, and Sample down 3 runs with a runner at first. Let's take a look at Jim Essien's card. It's a pretty good card. Obviously, he's better against righties than lefties. But obviously, he's also better than the lefty Davalillo and the lefty Thad Bosley against Tippy Martinez. So, Jim Essien will bat in a 4-1 game with a runner at first, no one out in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch to Jim Essien. 3-12 is a walk off the Essien card. A big walk for Essien. And the Angels do get to bring the tie run up in the 8th inning with Don Baylor's 36 homers, Bobby Grich's 30 homers, and then Sample and Ford. Tippy Martinez, very good against righties. And his card here is 1979, his best year, arguably. 10-3 with a 2.88 ERA. So we got the drama we were hoping to get in a Game 6. 2 on, nobody out. Your 1979 American League MVP, Don Baylor, will swing away. Here's the pitch to Don. 2-4 off his card is a 6-4-3 double play. Former Oriole Don Baylor hits into a 6-4-3 double play. Ron Jackson ends up at third. And then another former Oriole, Bobby Grich, will bat. The tie run has been taken off the table, though. Grich will bat with a runner at third and 2 outs. The pitch to Bobby Grich. 66 off of Tippy Martinez is single 1-16. He rolls a 14 and gets an RBI single. So the Angels, they get 1 run, and it's 4-2. They salvage 1 run out of that mess, and they still get to bring the tie run up now in Bill Sample. Let's take a look at the Sample card again. Very little chance of hitting a home run here to tie the game. He needs to roll 1-8, homer 1-5. But he will bat, and then you've got the dangerous Dan Ford leading the club in RBI up next. The pitch to Bill Sample. 66, same thing off Tippy. Single 1-16, but he rolls an 18. Wow, what a horrible break for the Angels there. We've seen a couple really high rolls. Eddie Murray misses the homer 1-18 in the 5th inning that cost the Orioles 2 runs. And this single here potentially costs the Angels a chance of tying or taking the lead in the 8th. So some bad offensive luck for both squads. And it's a 4-2 thriller going into the 9th. And Nolan Ryan is a starter 9, and he can go 10 if needed. Mark Belanger leads off in the 9th inning. 67's a walk for the C Steeler. Stealing a base has been taken off the table because Cliff Johnson's no longer catching. He has a +2 arm. Essien's a pretty good catcher, got a 0 arm. So Lowenstein will bat. These walks are starting to creep up on Ryan suddenly. Talked about that earlier in the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 walks. Kind of a typical Ryan game, but again, they got Ross Baumgarten in Game 7, and their bullpen, Mark Clear blew a save, Dyer Miller got lit up, Jim Todd, Ralston. They got to hope Ryan settles down and gets out of this 9th. John Lowenstein walked 3 times. Pitch to Lowenstein. 49 is a K. Rich Dower. Now, does he do a hit and run with a C Steeler and a B hit runner? I don't know. Every time he doesn't do a hit and run, he gets a single or a double, so he's going to hit away. 59 off Ryan's a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it's Ken Singleton. 67, another walk. 1 more base runner will break Nolan Ryan. 8 walks, my goodness, and still pitching. He will pitch here with 2 on and 2 out in the 9th to Doug DeCinces. The pitch to Doug. 59 is a strikeout. Not much left in Ryan. I probably shouldn't have him pitch the 10th inning if they tie this thing. in the remote chance they tie it and somehow don't win it, as that is a ton of guys to put on base and asked to go out to pitch the 10th inning. So Tippy Martinez will be asked to do a 6-out save in a closeout game. In Game 7, Scott McGregor, another lefty, is available to come out of the pen as Dennis Martinez is scheduled to start. So it'll be Dan Ford, Don Kessinger, Carney Lansford in the bottom of the 9th with a 2-run lead. Here's Dan Ford. 58 off a Tippy is a fly to left. Don Kessinger. No, you can't pinch hit for him. And no, you've got Thad Bosley on the bench who has no hits on his card against a lefty. So Kessinger is 1 for 3. Needs a hit now. The pitch to Kessinger. 65 off the Tippy card, double one, single. So Don Kessinger, the ageless shortstop, is 2 for 2 in a closeout game and allows the Angels to have the tie run bat in the bottom of the 9th inning. Carney Lansford, and then you got Joe Rudy, who I don't think will face a lefty. So Tippy might be asked just to face one more batter, Carney Lansford. The pitch to Carney Lansford. 3-6 is a K. And with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, it's Joe Rudy. I think I've showed the card once or twice. Oh, boy. And then you got Ron Jackson Essien. I think Tippy will come out of the game. This might be the break the Angels got. And for some reason, if you wanted to go Thad Bosley for Joe Rudy now, you can. The Orioles will go Don Stanhouse in the 9th. Don Stanhouse. Stan the Man Unusual was his nickname in Baltimore. Walks a lot of guys. This is his better year of 1978. He will be asked to close out Game 6 of the League Championship Series and send the Orioles to the World Series. Notice he has no home runs on his card. Joe Rudy will bat because he has the best homer chance remaining on the team, but he homers more versus lefties. So Stanhouse in the 9th will face Joe Rudy, JR, and the pitch to Joe Rudy with a runner at first and 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. The pitch to Joe Rudy. 65 off of Stanhouse is double, 1-7, single dot dot, and it is a single dot dot. So you got runners on the corners with 2 outs. Now you've got the tie run is at first with 2 outs, and it's Ron Jackson. Let's take a look at Ron Jackson's card. He is 1 for 4 today. His single was in the 8th inning, and he scored that run. He hit .297 with this card in 1978 for the Angels. And he will bat with runners on the corners and 2 outs in the 9th inning. By the way, Joe Rudy's a pretty good base runner. If he wants to score from first from a double, he's a 12. Actually, let me check Thad Bosley for a second. Wait a minute, folks. We're going to try something here. There's been a timeout, and Thad Bosley is pinch running for Joe Rudy in this situation. And the reason for that is that he's a base stealer, which means the Orioles have to hold him on first base because you don't with a tying run at second. That increases Jackson's batting average slightly, and it also increases the chance of scoring the runner from first on a double. All sorts of strategy because of the importance. This is a League Championship Series, so every decision matters a lot. So this gives the Angels the best chance. And Stanhouse, a walk still doesn't kill this team. And on deck is Essien. Do you pitch to Essien here instead? No, Essien would be just as bad. So Ron Jackson, with runners on the corners and 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, the pitch to Ron Jackson. 4-10 off of Stanhouse is center X. This is Paul Blair in center field. Great range, bad E rating. He's a 1E13 in center field, but he catches the ball. A 1E13 right there is his defense, and it is a fly ball B. Blair makes the grab. That is the final out. of the League Championship Series. The Orioles hold on and win 4-2. Stan, the man unusual, gets the save in the 9th inning. They beat Nolan Ryan 4-2. The Orioles are going to the World Series. Interestingly, the 79 Oriole team lost that World Series to the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are no longer around in the postseason. The 79 Reds, who also lost to the Pirates in that postseason, are around. And the 1980 Astros are in the postseason, who lost to the Phillies in the 80 World Series. So we have a lot of playoff scenarios that happened in Major League Baseball are still up. Ryan loses Game 6. 6 hits, 4 runs. 4 all were earned. Walked 8, struck out 9 in this complete game. Stanhouse does get the save. He came in to face Joe Rudy, gave up a single, but then he got the out. Tippy Martinez gave up a hit and a strikeout in the 9th. Came on in the 8th inning. Got the a walk, a double play, and a hit. Hit a walk and a double play in the 8th for Tippy. Clay Carroll. That run is charged to him. They scored in the 8th, so he gives up 2 singles and a run that scores. 2 hits and a runner who scores. Flanagan would get the win because he left with the lead. So he does get the win in Game 6. Wiggled out of that 6th inning. Just gives up 4 hits and 1 run. That was earned. Walked 4, struck out 3. 1019, 0109, 4629, 8954. That's a lot of walks combined for the teams. 13 guys walked today. 8 Orioles, 5 Angels walked, yet only 6 runners scored. That's some squandered opportunities there. The Orioles put 14 men on base in this game, and so did the Angels. And it stayed 4-2. It's a tough game there. 1019, 0109, 4629. When you look at it closely, you see that the Orioles just seem to have an answer for the Angels in this series. They had the bullpen matchups, better starting pitching. Ryan wasn't that great. Tanana wasn't great one start. And frankly, the left-handed hitters on the Angels have a lot to be desired. Don Kessinger, Vic Davalillo, and Thad Bosley. So, 1019, 0109, 4629. 8954, 5489. The Angels had a better record than the Orioles, but that was because they played in the American League West. And the schedule says you play your division rivals twice, and they beat up on Oakland, Texas, and Seattle. So let's take a peek here. In the 9th, Baltimore defeats the Angels in 6 games. We'll take a look at the team's year-to-date results here. It's a great year for the Angels, 25-15. They hit .262, but a 4.25 ERA is pretty high, all things considered. And Ryan, in 97 innings, he walked 82 and struck out 117, but got 6 complete games. The Orioles are still just hitting .241. But the pitching, though, 3.14 ERA. The bullpen and the starting pitching have been great. And that's a wrap today from the League Championship Series in the American League. The Orioles will be going to the World Series against either the Reds or the Astros, to be determined. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.